All right, you're still watching Ways, now celebrated on the 21st of June. International Yoga Day celebrates the physical and spiritual prowess that yoga has brought to the world stage. While it is an important source of exercise and healthy activity, millions join in and practice on a daily basis. For many, these routines are a way of connecting the body, mind, and soul in a way that has existed for centuries. Now, yoga is considered to be an ancient practice that originated 5,000 years ago in India. Yoga was developed as a way of interconnect or a way rather to interconnect the mind, the body, the soul, to step closer into enlightenment. So as the practice became popular in the West, it became popularized as an exercise and relaxation method with claims to help the body's general well-being, alleviate physical injuries and chronic pain. Now, the idea behind the International Yoga Day was first proposed by the Prime Minister Modi on September 27th during his speech at the UN General Assembly, where a resolution to establish June 21st as the International Yoga Day was introduced by Indian Ambassador Ashoka Kumar. Now, so happy. You know why I'm particularly excited about this day? Remember how I told you guys I had terrible pain, back pain, neck pain, everywhere you turn. Like literally I couldn't get up from my bed. It was that bad. So I just said to myself, what can I do? So I just went online. I said, what are the simple yoga exercises that I could do, right, for back pain? And guess what? Eventually, I was able to find a particular lady that I now use her routines. It is amazing. And you know the funny thing is that I'm excited about, because when I'm waking up in the morning, I have a lot of mental alertness, right? Mental alertness. I have, you know, like just, you just feel some kind of light from within. So for me, that's really exciting. I don't know about who is doing yoga here. Maybe I'm talking too much.
Yoga here, but when we were younger, my younger sister used to be able to tie her legs into a knot. And we found that really, really amazing because it meant she was flexible, but it was the yoga pose. And of course, we all know about is it the mantra for trying to find some calm and peace and finding Zen. So at times, even without it being necessarily yoga, just breathing in and out,
the act of meditation,
and silencing your spirit and your mind, I think is part of it. But I won't call it full on yoga.
I think it's also...
okay.
No, I was going to say that I think it's also something that the more you do it, so you get more value from it in terms of consistency. I haven't done yoga for a long time, or rather in a long consistent stretch, but I really enjoy, I don't know if we even have anywhere here that does it in Nigeria.
Oh yes, act of living. They
invited us. A particular type of yoga. So I like the Bikram yoga, which is like the hot, like in a hot, humid room.
Oh, okay.
And so so that really for me, because I also had to have like physiotherapy on my back and all of that, so that really helped me. But I think it's one of those things, and maybe we would even get more value and benefit from doing it now, because it really calms your mind. Chaos. Right. Yeah.
So you have to
center yourself.
Absolutely, you need to be centered. In Lagos, if you don't center yourself, they will center you. Okay, so who are we starting with? Let's start with you, Norma, your story.
Okay. My story is about our dear president, who has nominated 7 ministers to replace Amaechi, Akpabio, and others. So the story has it that the Senate has received 7 new nominees from President Muhammadu Buhari for consideration and confirmation as ministers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Their nomination is contained in the letter he addressed to the President of Senate, Dr. Ahmed Lawan, and read on plenary today. And it said that in the letter, he listed ministerial designates that include Henry Ikechukwu from Abia State, Omana Okonomana from Akwa Ibom, Kuma Joseph from Ebonyi, Goodluck Obia from Imo, Umar Ibrahim from Kano, Ademola Adewale from Ondo, and Udum Odi from Rivers. And the president says that his expectation is to receive the usual expeditious consideration and confirmation of the nominees to the Senate. And these newly appointed ministers will be replacing ex-ministers Rotimi Amaechi, Ogbonneanu, Godswill Akpabio, and Emeka Wajuba, who all resigned in pursuit of their presidential aspirations. So, well, basically, these names have been submitted, and we are waiting on the Senate to approve, or your name is supposed to be there.
Honestly, I was going to say that. Couldn't the president have just, decided to just give us a parting gift? You should have just at least nominated maybe like 3 out of those positions, women. Just give us something to say, okay.
I mean, for how long are they going to be there? Just let them.
Yes, even if it's 6 months. That's what I'm saying. Yes, now that's what I'm saying. They can parting gift.
Seem to be trying.
Yes, we seem to be trying. When I saw it, I said 7 people. You couldn't find.
Some I said.
Daddy, take it easy.
I don't think it was part of the 7-point agenda.
Uti, even you are competent. Don't worry.
When
you get there.
Why wasn't it part of his 7-point agenda?
No, it wasn't. Let's move on. Oh yeah, like your story.
Okay, so we're talking about the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigerian, short form IPMAN, says its members can no longer sell premium motor spirits, PMS, which is known as petrol to everybody, at the regular price due to a hostile business environment. Through petrol subsidy, the government fixed the price of petrol for consumers below the international price. Last week, the southwest zone of IPMAN threatened to direct its members to sell petrol at 180 naira per litre. Confirming the development, Akin Akinrinade, chairman, Lagos Satellite Depot, in a media briefing in Lagos on Monday, said its members can no longer dispense petrol at filling stations below 180 naira per litre. Now, let me break it down and tell you why it doesn't work for them that way. He said for you to load a litre of petrol, you pay 162 naira per litre. You will have to add the cost of transportation, which is between 6 to 8 naira, depending on the distance from within Lagos. If it is outside Lagos, it is much more than that. So if you add 8 to 162, you already have 170. And this product is regulated by the government, and the government wants us to sell at 165. We have not added the charges at the depots and the running cost at our stations. He added that the cost of diesel amid the country's epileptic electricity supply situation also affected its members' running costs. You know what diesel says now, and you know how epileptic power supply is. We run on generators using diesel at 800 naira per litre, he said. There is no station in Lagos or anywhere that uses less than 50 litres per day. Queues for petrol resurfaced in Lagos on Monday, days after scarcity surfaced in Ibadan, Oyo State. One thing I want people to try to Google, do a research on. Try and find out the meaning of the petrodollar and the history of what that is and why it keeps affecting us. Because when the war started between Russia and Ukraine, for a lot of people, we couldn't really understand how it was going to affect us and why it needed to affect us and why the prices kept going up. And I hadn't been in a place where I had to be responsible for operating with diesel. So I didn't know the wars that were awaiting me in the near future. And then when I saw the large discrepancy in the increase between I think they said it was 220 at first, and then it went up to
700 and other
700, and then now 800.
And
someone said it might even go to 1,000 very soon.
Yeah.
I had to research, and I found out that this thing started from the times of Iraq war and why they went into war in the first place, and the reasons why China and Russia seem to have issues with America. Just Google petrodollar. You would understand why we're at the place we are. And diesel going up and petrol going up is not peculiar to Nigeria or Africa. It happens everywhere. You would see the people in the United States complaining about it being about $6.50, I think, per gallon. So it's everywhere. It's just that our units, our money doesn't have any value. So when you start talking about units being in hundreds just to buy petrol, it seems so exorbitant, and it's killing for us. So may God save us soon. But I don't know how they can ever bring it back down.
It can't come
down. So the problem is, I mean, and I hear you when you talk about the petrol dollar. I think the problem that we have is we have crude. If we were refining locally, it wouldn't matter about the petrol dollar. Then we'd be talking about the cost of transportation and the efficient ways in which we transport the these petroleum fuel-based products or fossil fuel-based products. I mean, that's the painful part, I think, for me and for a lot of Nigerians, is the fact that we're importing something that we are exporting raw material. So on a, will I call it net, by the time you talk about the fact that crude is going up in price, I think that it was $113 to a barrel, we're not enjoying the benefits of that, right? Because we're budgeting 4 trillion to be able to import and to subsidize, right? So we are losing, because I mean, I was listening to the radio, I think it was 2 nights ago, and they said, oh, if they remove the subsidy, how much would petrol be? And so I did a quick calculation. I said, okay, if we're subsidizing at 200 naira per litre at the moment, so plus the 165, that's like 365. And the marketers are already telling us that that's not going to cut it. So 180, let's say, you know, 380, 400. Now, if you've got a 70-litre tank, one tank going to run you about 28,000 naira.
How much is your salary again?
No, so at that point,
yourself.
You see, we reduce
everything.
Everybody going to sit at home.
But the funny thing is, they keep finding money for these things.
And let me say to you, I'm just saying to anybody that cares to listen, empower yourself. Start to earn forex. Find a way. It's true, because the truth is, if you were going to calculate it, right, if we want to leave it and just put, we are looking at 500 naira per litre, right? Let's just, about that. So really, how much can we afford as people currently with the current, it's not like the salaries are increasing. So but the point is, are we ready to just say, you know what, let's just end it now and just wake up to our reality? I
think it should be a gradual thing. Now, if we had last year, if the government had stayed the track and not pushed back, if you are gradually increasing it, like I said, when I did that calculation, it's one thing to say remove it. It's another thing to now calculate the real impacts to you.
Remove it is not the solution.
So no, but remove it is the solution. It's just we have to eventually get there.
We have to get, but we have to walk people through
and then we kind of have to juxtapose it with how soon are refineries coming online? How soon are the refineries we have been optimized? So that, you know, if you even know you're bearing something for a short period of time, the problem that I believe that it's like, okay, so if tomorrow you scrap the subsidy, and then me, I'm paying 28,000, and the senator is still largessing, this one is still largessing, you have not cut the bloat in the public sector, then what are we saying?
Some animals are more equal than others. Nigeria as it stands.
Let's move. And again, you know the sad thing again, they've not even explored gas at all.
They keep blaring. I mean, let's go to you.
Okay, so
we will come to it again tomorrow.
All right, the powers that be in the world, it just took my story. But it's a follow-up. I don't know if you can help me open it. But it's a follow-up to Laide's story. Mine is the federal government talking about the fact that they can't subsidize diesel and aviation fuel. So, of course, we just talked about the fact that petrol is subsidized, right? Diesel, of course, as we know, is not, and neither is aviation fuel, which is why diesel has now gotten to the possible, it's like a threat now when they tell you that diesel will hit 1.5. So that's looming. Of course, we all know the aviation industry has been facing this problem, and the airlines have claimed, or no, the airlines have even gotten to a point where they had all come together to say they were going to shut down. Of course, the government intervened. Until now, we're still not seeing the traction that we want to see. So the Minister for State of Petroleum Resources, Chief Timipre Silva, has now just enlightened the fact that these markets are deregulated, unlike petrol, so the government cannot intervene. What their solution is to democratize, even though they've been saying this for a while, because, I mean, the aviation fuel problem has been here for a while. And this is a problem that is critical enough for us to be able to move quickly. So when you say you're trying to democratize the process and you're trying to get access to allow the airlines, because, you know, the airlines have said they want to be able to source their own fuel, which is actually not even the best way to do it, because if you go, I go, everybody is doing individual buying in the market. What you should do is come together as a coalition. That's what airlines do everywhere else. And then you can source fuel, even if you're going to do it outside of the government. So the call for me here would be that please move quickly. Let's do this, because there was another story that came out this morning. I don't know if anybody caught that said Nigeria was owing $450 million to IATA. So the aviation space in itself, this dollar problem, I mean, it just has so many far-reaching consequences. So imagine if today IATA tells you, you are owing us money, you know,
need to pay down.
so their airlines' monies are trapped here. And so for you to fly back now becomes considerably more expensive because the money they cannot recoup from you flying out, they will recoup it from you flying in.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it will be a lot more expensive to fly into Nigeria. So let's, like Lady
Today,
said,
God help us.
It's just listing the things that make us wake up in a weary way. From frying pan to fire, now to Agbari Ojuku.
We are coming. My own is Anayetoro. High Court in Ogun State has sentenced one Adelake Bara to death by hanging on Monday for shooting and killing one Olaleye, sorry. Okay. Whom he accused of having illicit affairs with one of his 3 wives. So, delivering the judgment, Patricia Oduni held that the prosecution had proved its case beyond reasonable doubt that Barrow was guilty of the charge, and so he's been charged to death by hanging. Let me see if I could quickly find something. Barrow, who has 3 wives, brought out a gun and shot Oke in the head while the latter was trying to explain that he had no affair with any of Barrow's wife as he accused. He accused him of having an affair with one of his wives. So why I particularly took this story is because we're discussing raising men today, right? I see that a lot of times when it comes to men, they tell you men don't cry. You understand? You're a man, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. So a lot of times you see that we have a lot of men that are bottling up a lot of emotions, and if given a gun, like, I mean, if you had a gun, instead of you to like communicate your grievance or whatever, you take action. And we've heard stories of a man stabbing a girl because she left him. That she said she know they do the relationship again. He killed her. You have to die. You know, so we're not able to manage emotions. We're not able to manage crisis situations because, you know, and I see this happen more with a lot of men than women, because women have always been trained in a way to just, you know what,
communicate.
And again, take the thing as it be. Let's bear it. But you see, a man, because he's not able to, you know, express it, he just uses that. Yeah,
you know the irony.
Yeah, go ahead.
The irony of this story is that if his second wife his first wife had behaved the way he behaved, he would never marry 3 wives.
Yeah, because he'll be dead. He'll be dead.
So,
But they will tell you it's a man's world.
It doesn't apply to him.
Yeah,
that's the point. So that I think that's the stronger part of the conversation.
That's very strong.
Yeah, I mean, I think because when you said, I was like, a man is about to die, I shouldn't laugh. But the irony of it just struck me, because I'm like, you killed somebody because you thought he had an affair with one of your wives. If your wife had killed number 2,
is it killed number 2 or killed you? You'll not even be alive.
Number 2.
No, it's number 2 should have killed in the circumstances.
Okay, yeah.
Well, so if she had killed number 2, you won't try number 3. You won't try number 3, but you got 2 to number 2, and you got to number 3. So not only did 1 woman bury it, 2 women bore it. So this is just to validate your point.
Yeah. You know what? So let's take a break. We want to discuss raising men, right? Stay with us. We'll be right back.
To bear it.